Hello all and welcome back to the Roster of Dreams, the show where we take a dream fighting game and make a roster around said game. Now this is an episode for a game that may not happen right now, but I want to do an episode on Injustice 3. I don't know if I really talked about it much, but I love the Injustice series. However, I said this game might not happen right now for quite a few reasons, so I will go ahead and go over those reasons real quick. First one being that Warner Brothers Games wants NetherRealm Studios, the company behind both Mortal Kombat and Injustice, to focus purely on Mortal Kombat, which probably explains why we got Mortal Kombat 1 after Mortal Kombat 11 instead of Injustice 3. Secondly, with the release of James Gunn's Superman movie returning to his true form, everyone has been tired of the evil Superman trope. Also, people have been tired of the multiverse, aside from maybe a select few projects. And finally, probably the biggest reason being Netflix bought out Warner Brothers, so we don't know if Warner Brothers will keep their video game division for very long. And I know the voice actors for Superman and Jon Stewart have hinted at the game happening, but this roster is just made for fun. Now that we have all of that out of the way, let's determine how many characters will be in this hypothetical game. So, Mortal Kombat 1 had 22 characters, one pre-order bonus character, and 2 combat packs that featured 6 characters each. So I will mostly follow that same pattern. However, we will have 24 starting characters, so half of the roster will be returning characters, and the other half will be new ones. So without further ado, let's go over the returning characters. Starting with the returning characters, we have the main trinity consisting of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. They are the main trinity of DC, so of course they had to return. Green Lantern, The Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg are also ones we have to bring back. Seeing that they were big in the previous game, we have to bring back Green Arrow and Black Canary. Also, Harley Quinn is one of the biggest characters in DC, so we got to include her. Also, we got 2 more here, so I'm going to give those slots to Supergirl and Robin. So there you have it. Those are your returning characters for Injustice 3. Now we can get on to the new characters. Anti-Monitor. I know he is gigantic, but we can size him down. Also, he can be the main antagonist for the story, which could be an adaptation of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Beast Boy. Now I have to include this one because Beast Boy is one of the Teen Titans that hadn't been represented yet. Also, people have been wanting him for years. Deadman. I have to get the Justice League Dark representation out of the way, so I have to include Deadman. Etrigan the Demon. Still getting all the Justice League Dark representation out of the way, so I have to include Etrigan the Demon. Hawkman. Of course I had to include Hawkman. I have been familiar with this character since I was a kid, and I was getting into superheroes from both Marvel and DC. John Constantine. This is the biased one, but we almost have all the Justice League Dark members represented in the past 2 games. Also, John Constantine is probably one of my favorite DC characters, second to Batman. KG Beast. I wanted to get a lesser-known DC villain in here, so I went with KG Beast. Metamorpho. Of course, with the new Superman movie introducing a whole new audience to this character, I have to include him. Mr. Terrific. I had to add this one because that new Superman movie introduced him to a whole new audience, and it would be an injustice not to include him, no pun intended. Peacemaker. I know he's already a guest character in Mortal Kombat 1, but Peacemaker is a popular character in DC right now, so let's include him. Also, John Cena could even come back to do the voice. Spectre. Just getting my Justice League Dark representation out of the way, so of course I have to include Spectre. Superboy. I know we already have 2 different super characters, however I think we could squeeze 1 more in. There you have it. That is your starting roster for Injustice 3. In alphabetical order, we have Anti-Monitor, Aquaman, Batman, Beast Boy, Black Canary, Cyborg, Deadman, Etrigan the Demon, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Harley Quinn, Hawkman, John Constantine, KG Beast, Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, Peacemaker, Robin, Spectre, Superboy, Supergirl, Superman, The Flash, and Wonder Woman. Pretty good roster, but I did say we would do a pre-order bonus character. Seeing that everyone has been wanting a Watchmen character for a while, the pre-order bonus will be Dr. Manhattan. Now that we have the pre-order bonus out of the way, let's get on with the DLC characters. Both packs will have 6 characters, 3 of them will be DC characters, and the first pack will have 2 Mortal Kombat characters and a guest character from an indie comic. So let's get started. For the actual DC characters, I picked Booster Gold, Killer Croc, and a DC Vertigo character with V from V for Vendetta. The 2 Mortal Kombat characters will be Johnny Cage, because he was in that poll for who would be the MK character to be in Injustice 2. Same goes with our next character being Jax, who will conclude the 2 Mortal Kombat characters to be in Injustice 3. As for the indie comic character, I picked Bloodshot from Valiant Comics. I have a feeling that now my first exposure to this character was that one Vin Diesel movie, which wasn't all that great. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that liked his comics though. Now we move on to the next one. For the DC characters, I picked Jonah Hex, Static, from Static Shock, which a lot of you 2000s kids might remember, and Batman Beyond. And I know we already had a Batman character, but I just wanted to squeeze in Batman Beyond because I love that show. Now for the only 2 indie comic characters will be Invincible, seeing that his father is in Mortal Kombat. Also, this is a similar thing to Mortal Kombat as to the fact that MK11 had the T-800 from Terminator, and the MK1 had the T-1000. So Injustice 3 will have Shredder from TMNT. Speaking of TMNT, the final character will be a wildcard character. I highly doubt most people would suspect, so I'll be going with another 80s cartoon character with He-Man from Masters of the Universe. There you have it, the main roster, the pre-order bonus, as well as both DLC packs. Hope you enjoyed the video, and tell me in the comments if you liked the roster, or tell me what you would do for a roster for Injustice 3. But in the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified for new content. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, links for those will be in the description below. My name is Mac, hope you guys have a nice day.
I see it,